When talking about mediation, we think of how art affects our everyday lives. We discuss classical art, literature, and film, but a medium that is often overlooked is video games. Interactive media has been rising in popularity since its inception in the 1970s, and its resurgence in the 1980s. Video games have been a part of my life ever since I can remember, and they have made a huge impact on me. From single player to multiplayer, platformer to RPG, everyone enjoys games differently, but one thing in common among all games is interactivity. For a video game to be a video game, there must be some sort of input from the player. And today, I will be explaining why video games are a viable media and why we should be studying them in terms of mediation. The biggest strength of interactive media is its ability to transport its audience into its story and allow the player to have an effect on it. When watching a film or reading a book, the audience has no say, but with video games, you, as the player, can affect the world within the game. This may seem pretty obvious, but it's easily the biggest strength of interactive media. An audience is not limited to just viewing a story. They can experience it. Many games have ways in which they can get the player more involved, such as character customization, multiple story endings, and meta-narrative. These are all tools that interactive media can use while other mediums don't. And sure, a film can break the fourth wall, but the viewer cannot respond back to a film. But in video games, you take part in the story, and even have an effect on its ending. Even a game over can just be a different ending in your version of the story. The story can end whenever you want it to. But, however you choose to play, the interaction with the game is the key element that sets video game experiences apart from all other mediums. Another strength of interactive media is the communicative aspect. Unlike films, a video game can drastically change its fundamental properties when playing with a friend. For the most part, a film can only be enjoyed by yourself. Input from a third party during a movie is rarely ever a good experience. For example, if the person next to you in the theater commentated on the movie the entire time, the film would not really be enhanced. It would probably be worsened. However, in a video game, playing with a friend or even multiple friends is a great way to experience a game. Whether you play competitive or co-op, there are always good times to be had. In these ways, video games can mediate a story to a group of people through interaction from the player to the game, as well as player to other player. Even single-player games can generate a community around them. It's fun to speculate about games of the future and discuss the ones that we've already played. I really enjoy these communities because it's a great way to make friends and have discussion. In fact, most of the friends I have today I became friends with due to gaming, so I would say that they've made a big impact on my life personally. Lastly, I'd like to bring up one more strength of video games over other mediums. This is the aspect of time. Unlike a film, which traditionally lasts between 1 to 2 hours, video games can capture an audience for many hours. Lots of popular games take over 60 hours to complete. And this may seem like a hindrance to some, but it's actually a strength. Films often have to use exposition dumping and long-winded narration at the start of them to help explain a world or the situation behind it. But video games have the ability to show and not tell. World building, character development, and story arcs all have the leisure of rolling out in whatever time frame they need. Of course, this could be said about some episodic series of films as well, or TV shows, but then again, you don't get the other added benefits such as interactivity or community. Between video games' abilities to allow their audience to experience their story, and the specific tools that only video games can use, interactive media should be taken seriously when you're studying how culture is mediated to us. People all over the world can make games, so their creations can allow us to experience a culture vastly different from ours. And the key to this is experience. Through a film, we can see another world, but in a game, we can experience a world up close. A game can tell stories in a way that no other medium can. Due to the ever-evolving technology in the industry, video games are only going to get better. There's so much more to video games, and so much I was unable to say, but I hope that these 3 strong points can show just how great of a medium video games are. With this essay, I'm not trying to bash other mediums such as films. I am simply trying to show the strengths of video games when compared to other mediums. And with that, I'm left to wonder, why are video games normally left out?